Thanks for having me here today. I'm really excited to come and speak about my favourite topic, and digital marketing. Even though I've been with marketing in the media for many years, this has become a real passion. And to be able to speak to small to medium business and help you have a better understanding and some guidance in strategy has been just a joy. I love it. So I'm going to go through a few strategies, a little bit about what's going on in the world. Oh, goodness, it's a bit too early for a big me like that. Okay, so what we're going to start off with today, I'm going to talk a little bit about, what's changed, what hasn't in the media environment. We'll explore some survey data on specifically agriculture, but I guess that little bit more specific, right down to livestock and beef producers. We're going to have a look at the benefit of being online. Why do we need to be online? Why it's so very important. I'm going to have a look at how we can help you grow your business and success. And I'm going to go through something called the buying cycle. You may have seen it before, but it's something that we all need to be aware of, and it really is industry-wide, regardless of what business you're in. The buying cycle is really important. So, just a bit of broad information. Australians love the internet, there's no doubt about it. I flew down from Port Macquarie yesterday, and everyone at the airport are on their phones, got their nose stuck in that. There's no doubt about it. We're on it for all different types of reasons, but overall, Australians absolutely love it. So there's 24 million of us, and 20 million of us are online. 19 million Australians own a smartphone today. There's not too many old flip phones left around about. 18 million people are on social media of some description, and 13 million actually are on mobile for social. But how does that relate to you guys? It's a good question, because our good friends at Quars Agricultural Research provided me with some great data here. Livestock producers in particular, it's safe to say just about all of you are online for something. Whatever it might be, you're there. Everyone has a use pretty much for the internet today, whether it be in your business or socially, whatever it is that you're doing. You might be renovating a bathroom, you might want to buy a new lounge, whatever it is, we've got a use for the internet today. So the top 10 of what we're looking at. Beef producers, what do you like? Pretty much the same as everybody else. There's not a lot of difference out there. What you're liking in comparison to the rest of Australia is very similar, I suppose, with the exception of agricultural news and researching agricultural products, I suppose. But, we love it for banking. Most of us are checking the internet to use our email, check email. We're on the go all the time. We're busy. We're checking social media, whatever it might be. We're all online for some reason or another. Oh, too quick. This is a really interesting stat that I received. So when we're talking about beef producers in particular, talking about using the internet for some reason or another for 2.2 hours a day. On average, in agriculture, 2.3 hours. I wanted to find out how that differed from the rest of Australia, what everyone else was doing in the regional and metro, whatever they were. How long were they on? Was it a lot longer? No, average of 2.7 hours for the rest of Australia. So, what I'm seeing is agriculture is no different from the rest of Australia. And in fact, what I see in agriculture is far more innovation than anywhere else. I'm really, surprised every day with what I see and how advanced this industry actually is. It's amazing what you do. So interestingly, all that search, all that time online that you guys are spending, 76% of it is spent on a mobile device. So when I was talking about the people at the airport with it in their hot little hand, 76%. So it's a good time to think about, if you've got an online presence, is your website mobile optimised? Is it responsive to all devices? Because if it's not, 76%. It's very important that you look into that. Just a little funny one to throw into it. There is actually a fear now of people not being connected, whether it be I don't have enough juice in the phone or there's no connection with the internet where I am. There is actually a phobia known as nomophobia. So it's more important to people today than ever before that they're connected. And as far as searches online, globally there are literally trillions of searches. So this is where we go for our news, our information, our research, our comparisons of what we're looking for. It is online. So that tells us mobile has absolutely changed the world. It changes the way we act and the way we react in life. Whether we hear, see, touch, feel, smell, most of those things now drive us online for a need, a want. We're all looking there. So, our expectations have grown massively. What we expect from a mobile experience, it's got to be quick. It's got to be relevant. We've got to be able to find what we want. We've got to be able to take action immediately when we need to. I want to be able to make contact with someone as quickly as I want to. And as far as loyalty, there's not a great deal of loyalty like there used to be because people have a need, and the need in most cases today outweighs the loyalty. So be where the consumer is. It's very important. So how do we succeed? We be there, we be useful, and we be quick. When I say be there, be found online. If you have an online presence, make sure that you can be found. And when I say be useful, be relevant. Make sure that the information on your website is relevant. Don't have information about your bull sale in 2017. Have information, a pop-up on the home screen about what's going on this year. What can we expect when we come to your sale? Relevant. And be quick. Google talks about 3 seconds and 3 clicks to get what we want. If it takes longer than that, you may have lost that customer, potential buyer. A website that takes longer than 3 seconds to load, they say that 40% of people will click off. We're all very impatient, aren't we? Can't possibly wait an extra second for anything. So, if speed thrills, friction kills. So make sure you're quick. There's the 40% stat there. 29% of smartphone users will immediately switch to another site. So in our case, maybe our competitors, we don't want that to happen. And 1 in 5 people say if they're dissatisfied with the websites that they get to, they may never go back. So Google talks about relevance and good user experience. When I get to your website, it needs to be relevant and needs to tell me what is happening. It also needs to be a good user experience, and that means easy to navigate. I find exactly what I want. There's a click-to-call functionality on your homepage. It looks great on mobile. All those things are vitally important. So, knowing how important mobile is today and how important it is to have a really strong online presence, the question is, how do we do that? So, as a company, so Australian Community Media, how do we do that? Now, there's a lot of tactics, there's a lot of people out there that offer all sorts of products, but it's really important that it's a holistic approach to marketing and it's a strategy that's based on your business, not someone next door, not the person on the other side of the room, but you individually. And there's a little thing called the buying cycle that I like to look at to help me understand where we need to be for whoever you are. So the buying cycle solution. So you see this little circle here and it just keeps on spinning. So the first part of the buying cycle is awareness. And my good friend spoke earlier, can't see you now, about brand building and creating awareness, getting that brand recognition. That is your awareness part of the buying cycle. That's about you being recognised for who you are and what you do. The second part, we usually look at the second stage as research and comparison together. So people are researching you for what you do, and they're comparing you with, another provider, another breeder. So how do you stand up? Can you be found when people are researching online? Can they compare you? Can they find really relevant information on your site? Can they compare the breed? Is there someone that's not currently breeding Angus that potentially could be? How do we tap into that market? It's about being found in search, having a great working website that is relevant and quick to load, and allowing that potential customer to breeze through their research and comparison phase. Then we get to purchase, and purchase can be a lot of things. You make the sale, or your marketing has established a line of communication for you so that people can call you, or they can send you an inquiry form online from your website. There's really straightforward communication there that then will drive to the purchase. So once we've made the sale, we're on to the retention part, that last piece of the puzzle. How do we get these people to come out and see us again? So we've made the sale, they like us, they like the product, they're very happy. Social media is a great platform to hold your attention. That's how you can have conversations with those repeat customers. That's how you can tell them what's happening. We had our sale, this is what happened. Good news stories. It's great social media platforms are great for that. I'm just going to walk now through how that looks. So your brand awareness. When we're talking brand awareness, your traditional forms of media are the best. We were talking about McDonald's earlier. They advertise, they repeat, and they never stop because they're looking for that brand recognition. Whether that logo changes at any time, it's always yellow. It's always that bright yellow. It never, ever is any different. So whatever you do, be consistent and make sure that that brand is there when people are looking for it. So what I understand is that with our print publications, whilst people talk about the decline of newspapers, our publications in agriculture are still incredibly strong. Beef producers engage with our weekly publications 81% of the time. That's massive. So, you combine that with your branding, advertising on our website platforms as well. So each paper has its own website. You combine your print and an online ad with the same message. The reach in Australia is unmatchable. Nobody can reach as many people in your industry as we can. It's just about doing it right and the correct mix. We can even look at some of the regional newspapers online with audience segments talking to people that are beef producers that have been to our websites. So they're people that have been to the agricultural sites that may be looking at regional as well. It can be very drilled down today. We've got the data, so we've got to use it. So there are your traditional forms of media. As I said, they are the best way to brand, whether it be TV, radio, print, whatever. They are great for branding. Brett's talked to me about 100 days out from a sale is usually when people start to think about buying a bull, what they're going to do, what sales they're going to go to. So that would be a great time to start getting messages out there. So, stages 2 and 3 of the buying cycle. This is where people are doing their research and they're comparing. And ways we can get out to people when they're doing that. So if they want to buy, I want to see, I want more information, I want to know about breeding, whatever it might be, we're Googling. As I said, there's trillions of searches a year. So, we've got to be in front of the people that are looking. So it's important that you're found in search. It's important that people can find you in those moments that matter to them. This is a typical search page. There's a little bit broken out of it, which is the Google Maps or Google My Business that you'd probably be used to seeing in Google search. But the important parts here for our research and comparison phase are the Google ads at the top of the page there. So the 4 paid ads part of the search engine result page. That is where we're talking about what you sell, not who you are, but who you sell. So people want to buy what you've got. This is where you can appear. So you may have heard Google Ads, ACM, pay-per-click, comes by many names. That is the top of the screen. After the Google My Business or Google Maps section, there is an organic section at the bottom of the page, and that consists of 9 listings. Now, everyone can't be on page 1. So remember I talked about relevance and good user experience and being mobile optimised and responsive? Google will reward you for those things. So when someone is doing a search and they can find exactly what you offer and bring you into the search results page, you're on a good thing. So a good SEO or search engine optimisation strategy is important today too. It really encourages trust and recognition of your business. Now, it's pretty hard to keep up with because the mathematical equation that Google use or algorithm changes 500 to 600 times a year per section. It's a really hard thing to keep up with. So, you know, what once was something people could keep up with themselves now is a dark art, and it's something that requires a very, very strong strategy. So that's something to think about. Being found while those people are in that comparison and research phase, you know, cannot be done without some form of strategy to drive traffic and to that fantastic website that you've got. Another little strategy in that phase, so they've all been searching, they've been comparing. So we know what websites the consumer goes to in the area that you want to target. So we can take that profile and build an audience for you that we can specifically target because we know that they've been to your competitor's website, they've been to the Angus website and read up information about today and yesterday. We know that, so we can target them with specific ads, this audience. We're not placing ads on particular websites, we're following the user. So wherever they go, in a geographic location, based on what you do, that audience grows and grows over time. You know, we can see ads showing on apps. I've got a friend that tells me he works on a farm in Moree, and he tells me that he gets these ads all the time on this app. And I keep saying to him, what app, what is it? And he actually plays Scrabble online and Words with Friends on his phone and must have 37 goes a day while he's at work. He's a naughty boy. But he sees these ads, like these little banner ones at the bottom, because he's part of an audience that people are targeting. It's very effective. So, you know, the great thing is that with these type of products, we already know that you're interested. I always say no one's trying to sell me a whippersnipper and a chainsaw. It's all about Alaskan holidays at the moment. That's where they want me. So we develop a whole series of different size ads that will formulate to whatever device people are using. So whether they're booking a flight or they're finding out where the next bull sale is for a certain business, or they're, you know, playing Words with Friends, we can target them wherever they may go. They might be on Duolingo learning Spanish for their Spanish holiday next year. We've got them because we know they're interested in beef. So think about local targeted display. And YouTube, we have all touched on video a little bit. Video's king. Like, YouTube is the second most used search engine in the world, also owned by Google, but video is really important. And I think in the industry that you're in, even more so, people like to be able to see the movement of the animal. So being able to, if you have great video, you can repurpose it into many things. We can target with YouTube to particular demographics, to geographical areas, in front of the audience that matters to you. The most engaged audience, the most likely to take an action audience. So we've done all our research, we've been everywhere we needed to be, we've annoyed people, we've been in front of them. Time to make the purchase. That purchase phase, you still need to be there. Don't change what you're doing. When people get to the stage where they're ready to purchase, it will be a Google search again. So we need to be in front of those people when they have made the decision. And, you know, as I said before, that does lead to online inquiry, phone calls, whatever it might be. You've got to set a goal, and we can work through those goals with you. And retention. So we want to keep those people. They came and saw us this year. They bought however many bulls. That was fantastic. How do we get to them? How do we get those same people to come back next year? So we can talk to them through platforms like social media. And, you know, there are many, many ideas on social and what you should and shouldn't do. Social is social. You know, the thing with it is you really can't control what's being said there. So I would like you to think about your websites and what's on there and whether the content is relevant or not, because at the end of the day, the only place on the internet that you can control what's being said about you is on your website. You cannot control what's being said on social media. You cannot control what Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter or whoever, you can't control what they're going to do tomorrow. They own your content, you don't. So, whilst it's a great place to get out the good news messages and this is what happened today and be social with your fan base, it's not the be-all, end-all. You must have a solid online presence and think of your websites as the hub or the centre of the universe when it comes to marketing today. If that website doesn't do what it needs to do, then everything else suffers as a consequence. You won't get the same results. People need somewhere to go. So whether it is social media or people are doing Google search or word of mouth even, and I go to your website, if that is not a good user experience, it doesn't load quickly, it's not relevant, then what was the whole exercise about to start with? We need to make sure we're using these things for the right reasons. Just on social media, I just will add to that these are the times of day that beef producers are online. And you can be really specific with times of day when you're targeting beef producers. So, you know, we can set ads to run in the morning early, and then we can boost them again in the afternoon and evening to make sure that we're reaching people when we know they're mostly online. You reach a larger audience at those times of day. So, you know, stats like this and research we have on so many parts of the industry, depending on what you want to do, we can tailor that strategy to work best for you. So what have we got? This is just a small part of what's in our large swag of products. But, you know, don't ever forget Google Ads, whether that be your Google Ads for search, retargeting, video, whatever it might be. Don't forget YouTube and Gmail advertising. Gmail's a new big one. You know, just about all of us have a Gmail account for email. So being able to target people, again, a specific audience that's interested in beef, that's interested in the sales, the bull sales that are about to come up, great place to get in front of those people when they're just checking their email. Local targeted display, that's where we follow the user around the internet. Search engine optimisation, you know, it's not something you can look and feel, touch and feel, but it is so important. Those organic results will relate back to how the trust is established with your business. We see someone in all three sections of the search page, we kind of trust them a bit more. They seem to really want my business. It's a subconscious type thing, but it's definitely there. I mean, you know, when it comes to Google search, no, everyone wants to be on page 1, right? Like, no one wants to be on 2 or 3 with the dead bodies. No. Website development, if you need help, we're here to help. You know, we're using global best practice with what we're doing today, and we're constantly on the search. You know, what we do every day is based on best results for our customers and best outcomes. And all of our products are monitored constantly. So the final one on here is the premium display network. So as I mentioned, all of our websites do have their own, all of our mastheads do have their own websites. And there are great advertising opportunities there for you. And it's not only the agricultural mastheads, but the regional. And there's over 130 mastheads. So we can boost, you know, your message to our people out in rural Australia that, yes, are on checking the land website, they want to get the information from there, but they also want to know what's happening with the local council, so they might be looking on the local masthead as well. We can target those people. It's really exciting stuff. Audience segments that I've only learned about recently blew my mind about the amount of people in agriculture that are, you know, where else they are on the internet. I love it. So, what are the top benefits of online advertising today? Improve financial performance. We all want to make more money, yes? Yep. We want to boost productivity. We're all busy, but hey, we could be busier. I'm busy, but I could be busier. I could do more. We want to attract new customers, and we want to retain the ones we've got. So remember, retention, the ways we can do that. And, you know, make your business more competitive. So what are your competitors doing better than you? We can look at that. How you can be at the top of your game, how you can have the best chance of reaching the buyer. And be found online. Please, be found. It's so important. You can have a website, but if it can't be found, what's the use? You know, I see people every day that have spent a lot of money in this space and still they can't be found. So it's important that in what can be considered an unregulated industry, that you're speaking to people that know what you do. So the key benefits and takeaways. We don't go online, we live online today. That's just the nature of the beast. Be there, be useful, be quick. Be there, be found for what you do. Be useful, be relevant. Tell people exactly what's happening right here, right now in your business. And be quick. No one's got 12 seconds to wait for a website to load. We move on. I haven't got time for that. And, you know, have that solid foundation for your marketing strategy, and that's your website. Make sure it ticks all the boxes. You know, Google's the leading search engine in this country. They've got 96% share of the market in Australia. Not so in other countries, but here they do. So we follow their guidelines. We tick the boxes when we build a website, and we continue to follow what they're doing. So, this leads me to this. If there's someone here, anyone here that is interested in a deep dive into their online presence today, we are more than happy to have a look at it for you. It's free of charge. What we would like you to do is text your name, your business name and your phone number to this number, and one of our team, one of Brett's team, all right, we'll come back to you next week and have a chat. If you've got any questions for me that you don't want to ask now, text it through to this number and I'll come back to you. I'm happy to have a chat anytime. I'm around, you can always find me. So, yeah, no obligation, but, you know, if there's something happening or something you're concerned about that you want help with, let us know. So why us? So just a bit back to this. We are a Google Premier partner. So we're one of only 8 in Australia. And as you would imagine, the expectation of us is very high. It's a hard thing to get, but it's even harder to maintain. But what it gives us, and it's what we know about, you know, our long-standing paper, when we've only just had 5,000 editions. We've celebrated that recently. So the trust in our business is there. The confidence in us is there. You know, we're laser focused on return on investment. If you're going to spend money with us, we need to make it work. And that is about building that bespoke, holistic strategy for your business. What works for you, not for someone else. What works for you. So it's not a cookie cutter solution or a band-aid. And we're always looking to use best practice at all times. What is the leading platform today is what we'll be using. And that is it. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Sue. We've probably only got time for 1 or 2 questions if anyone has anything for Sue. That, or as she said, you can text her.
Thank you.
Thanks for Oh, we've got one, sorry.
We were just discussing here about what we go to when we go to search for something. And I find now that I won't actually go onto Google and search something, because when I find a website, a lot of the time the information on there is dated or it's not up to date. So my go-to is Facebook. I'll first search for, if it's an Angus stud or whatever it might be, I'll go and search for Facebook straight up, and it's most relevant. I know what they did last week, or I know what happened 2 hours ago. Whereas I find websites are dead to a point. Like, in my thinking about where I was going to go, in my mind I was thinking that websites are in the past and almost irrelevant unless you've got a product that you're selling online and you can purchase from that website. I'm wondering, is that something in the future?
Yeah,
There's websites becoming old.
Yeah, that's a good point, but that's what I speak about, is about your website having relevant information on it. You know, there's things still on the internet that were built when the dinosaurs were here, and you've been forced to go to social media. The problem with the social media is you often can't get the information that you need. I find I travel a lot with work, and you know, there's things that you need when you're away. I had a toothache not long ago, and trying to find a dentist that would tell me that they could do what I needed and I could get in quickly. Luckily, I could find online, but a lot of the time you can't. And when you go to social media and you're looking for a menu or something like that, it's not there either. So I think it's a bit like this at the moment. So given that people are searching, and we know that Google search has increased and continues to, what we need to do is make sure, particularly in our industry, that people are having their websites up to date, that the information there is relevant. And your point on social media, I suppose, is that you don't own that content. So if Facebook changes what they're doing, which they are right now, they're talking about changing your fan-based pages to groups. So the only people that will see your posts ever will be people that are part of your group. And then you've got to maintain those groups. So if everybody in the group doesn't engage with you, they drop off. So it's going to get harder and harder for business on social platforms, and I think probably unless you're spending a lot of money, it's going to be hard. I hope that kind of answers it a little bit.
Terrific. All right, thanks very much, Sue. And I'd like to thank the Land for sponsoring this session this morning too. Thank you. Thank you.